The Netflix series Bridgerton, produced by Shonda Rhimes, has captivated audiences worldwide with its opulent portrayal of Regency-era London. However, historians have pointed out several inaccuracies in the series, beginning with its representation of racial integration in British high society. Personally, one of my favourite things about Bridgerton is how the show depicts a racially diverse aristocracy, including a black queen and prominent black nobility. While Queen Charlotte's mixed-race ancestry is debated among historians, so is the idea that there were some members of the upper class in Regency England who were of dark African descent. Historians struggle with there being no historical primary evidence to suggest that people of African descent held such high positions in Regency-era Britain. However, it is, in my opinion, unrealistic to suggest that there was zero of African descent. We just have to dig a little deeper for the evidence. Moving on, historians argue that while the series' inclusivity is commendable, it presents a misleading picture of racial dynamics in the early 19th century. Another significant inaccuracy lies in the portrayal of the societal norms and behaviours of the period. Bridgerton features characters engaging in modern social interactions, such as public displays of affection and casual courtships that would have been deemed scandalous in the real Regency era. Historian Amanda Vickery notes that the strict codes of conduct governing behaviour, especially among the upper class, were much more rigid than depicted in the series. The show's romanticised portrayal of interactions ignores the stringent chaperonage and decorum that was central to maintaining a family's reputation during that time. Fashion in Bridgerton also diverges significantly from historical accuracy. The series showcases elaborate and sometimes anachronistic costumes that blend Regency styles with modern aesthetics. For example, characters wear vibrant, jewel-toned dresses and over-the-top hairstyles that would not have been typical of the period's more subdued colour palette and simpler styles. Costume historian Hilary Davidson points out that while the costumes add to the show's visual appeal, they often prioritise fantasy over fidelity to historical dress codes. This artistic choice, while visually striking, contributes to a distorted view of Regency fashion. The language of Bridgerton, witty and engaging as it is, raises a few eyebrows from the historical perspective. The script is peppered with modern phrases and words that would have been alien to the ears of the Regency era. Take, for instance, the term makeover. This word, commonly used in our everyday speech, didn't actually come into use until the 20th century. Likewise, the phrase "get it together" is another modern colloquialism that makes its way into the dialogues. This phrase only came into common use in the 1970s, clearly out of place in the early 1800s setting. Even the concept of dating, as we know it today, was non-existent, with courtship being the preferred term of the time. These anachronisms, while they might add a certain charm and relatability to the series, are not historically accurate. So, the language, it appears, is more modern than historical. The depiction of women's roles and agency in Bridgerton is another area where historical accuracy is sacrificed. The series portrays women as having significant autonomy and influence over their personal and romantic lives. However, in reality, women in the early 19th century had limited rights and were often subject to the authority of their male relatives. Marriage was typically their only path to financial security and social standing. Historians like Dr. Hannah Greig emphasise that the freedoms shown in Bridgerton are more reflective of modern feminist ideals than the historical context of the period. Lastly, the depiction of events such as balls and social gatherings in Bridgerton has been criticised for its inaccuracy. The series shows lavish, extravagant parties that serve as central plot points, yet these gatherings are often exaggerated versions of what would have been realistic for the time. Historical accounts suggest that while balls were indeed significant social events, they were generally more formal and less extravagant than depicted. Music historian David Kennerley notes that the inclusion of modern music, albeit in classical arrangements, further distorts the authenticity of these scenes. This creative liberty, while engaging for contemporary audiences, misrepresents the historical social customs and entertainment of the Regency era. In summary, while Bridgerton succeeds in creating a captivating and visually appealing narrative, it often prioritises dramatic effect over historical accuracy. The show's portrayal of racial integration, social norms, fashion, language, women's roles and social events all deviate from historical reality, offering a reimagined version of Regency-era Britain. Historians such as myself appreciate the series for sparking interest in the period, but caution viewers to recognise the substantial liberties taken with historical facts. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the historical inaccuracies of the Netflix series Bridgerton. If you like this documentary, please like and share it with other royal enthusiasts. Stay tuned for my next documentary, where I discuss what courting was said to really be like in the 16th to 19th century Europe. Until next time, keep loving history and stay curious.